So, we got into it. Rhode Island's not really considered a hotbed for the music business. I'm curious, as a young kid, what events led you to wanting to get into the music business, or were you even thinking about music business, or just making music in general at that time?
Well, I was 12, and I guess they had what were called assemblies, and some of my fellow students had bands, and they got up and they played. I remember specifically my neighbor, Dave Bowden, got up and played Lucky Man by Emerson, Lake and Palmer on guitar, and then this other friend of mine who I played football with, his band, they played 8 days a week and some other stuff, and I was at that transitional point between um, sports being everything, and all of a sudden, I always loved music. I mean, I remember in first grade, Jonathan Edwards' "Sunshine" was my favorite record, and I loved
Wow,
Dave Loggins' "Please Come to Boston."
of
All these,
course.
but when I was 12, I saw that, and I looked over at this other kid who was on the junior high football team. I was still Pop Warner, and he had a broken something. He was on crutches and a cast, and I said, "Man, everybody's getting bigger, and I'm not." So I looked over and I was like, "Man, I really want to do that. That's what I want to do." And then there was a Paul McCartney and Wings TV special on a Friday night, which, if you're not as old as I am, but back in the 70s, music on television was a rare occasion.
Okay.
I guess Don Kirshner's rock concert late Saturday nights, maybe you'd have some music. But so I remember watching that, and that really cemented the whole idea. And my brother happened to have an old Ludwig snare drum that he still has, must be a
Wow.
1960 model.
Holy crap.
And so I started banging on it, and then I asked my mother if I could take drum lessons, and she was always the conduit to my father. Like, I'd ask her, "Hey, can I take drum lessons?" And she'd clear it with my father. So I started taking drum lessons, and a couple of years later, started playing with these high school band or student friends, and we were playing. We played the Living Room, which was kind of a pretty cool club in Providence where the Schemers would play, and anybody else that was coming through that was sort of that level of an act. We played Brown University a few times. We'd play school events where they went to school at School One, which was in Providence. So, really, at that point, I wanted to be Keith Moon. I wanted to be a rock star.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
and I didn't pick up guitar or piano until I was at Berkeley.
Right.